Hey everyone, welcome back to Evony with Genghis Server 68. So, continuing on with the doom and gloom of the week, all these events, all these new releases, slight updates designed to take our money. Evony is noticing that people are not spending as much. So, last event was apparently a very, very poor spending event for Evony. One of the reasons would be this gear. I think it was the pants. Yeah, it was these pants was the low level gear. And I think nobody was really motivated for it. I know I wasn't. I think dropping the Ascending General stopped people from spending. It just annoyed people. Seeing this wheel right now has annoyed people, and I think it's going to make next event even less spending. It's going to be very interesting to see what this final set of civilization gear is. If it will motivate people to spend, or people are just really upset, and that's going to carry over. But I'm going to show you some messages. Some people from Evony actually reached out to ask me. I have some people I talk to there because I live stream All-Stars and whatnot, and they asked me about spending, and I'll show you the messages, and I'll tell you what I replied to them. And I just told them straight up, like, basically, you have eliminated the grind factor. Hard work is not being rewarded. People who play this game 12 hours a day, they have no hope. It used to be like, you know, someone could go buy full cake and you could work really, really hard for 12 hours and you could be a good teammate for them. Or, you know, it might take you 4 months to do what they get in 1 month. And that's cool. That's acceptable. I understand it's a business. But you can't just eliminate it altogether. So in the past, you used to have people who were like 4 billion. They'd have buffs of like 11 to 1200%. And the real good guys would be like 8 billion, 10 billion with 13, 1400%. So like it would be hard to beat that 4 billion guy. Now you could go out there in SVS 8 billion in size and get zeroed in one shot. No, and you can't work hard and fix this. Anyways, some of the things that I've talked with Evony about in the past, All-Stars. I stopped live streaming All-Stars basically for them. Some of it was just because my real life situation changed in terms of COVID ended. I had to go back to reporting to work, and the time zones aren't good for me in North America. One of the things, even before this, I was telling Evony they need to start for All-Stars having the opening rounds, the first few rounds, be like world time zone specific. So players sign up. You have all the North Americans compete. Maybe because there's more of them, they take up 2 or 3 of the different first round brackets, and then you have a European Asian circuit for the first 2 rounds, and then everyone on the weekend, when people don't have to work the next day, they can play together at that stupid time, 1 a.m. Eastern Time, North America. But for me to live stream, for the rewards they were giving live streamers, I just told them, no, I'm not staying up till 3 a.m. on weekdays and work the next day when you essentially give me a $5 Evony pack, the lowest daily pack, but not even. Just like the amount of gems was the daily pack, and then some other stuff. And then actually, they did one of these times. I was the only live streamer in the finals, or like one of only a few, and I woke up the next day with millions of gems. So I guess they did reward all of us who did it. But then they came out with these packs to actually get people to live stream in the future. And I just told them, like, I have other things that I want, and I wanted them to discuss the cheating in Shalons that happened in C1. And they gave me the runaround. They kept kind of telling me they were going to fix it or look into it, and then they kept asking for more picture evidence. They want screenshots, even though I showed them videos. I don't know. So then they eventually said nothing, and then I said, well, I'm not streaming. So that's an option, right? But anyways, back to the messages. So let's go over what was sent to me. So this was sent to me. By the way, I want to ask, do you know why last week people spend less money generally? Is it because the new event not good, and just last week? I think they're asking, is this going to be going into the future? And I basically said, you released all this stuff, like the 10-star generals, but people have no way to get the fragments. And then you release these memento chests, and I showed them all the pictures of the stuff. So where is it here? It's right here. And I showed them, like, you offer this. I have no idea what's in this pack. I have no idea what general's in it, how many generals, what percentage chance is there. Because if you go into the tavern here and you look at the daily draws, you can, there's right here, you can look at the chances. At least I have some sort of information of the ability that I'm going to get to obtain things. I have no idea in this thing that I'm actually paying money for. It's not free. I should have more information than that. And there's nothing in here to tell me. So I told them, I said, people aren't going to spend $100 to get this, and they don't know if it's a 1 in 100, a 1 in 30. What odds is it? They don't even know if the general they want is in the pack. So who's going to do that? I said they need to offer specific generals to people for money, or allow people to trade. So if I open this pack and I get a Simeon, Simeon's not my archer general, I should be able to trade him. I should be able to break him down, trade the 30 fragments to someone else for their 30 fragments. And you don't really have to worry about alt abuse, because, let's face it, alts don't really get good generals. Some might, but whatever. It's at the minimal. At least it's more fair for everybody. So I told them there has to be a better path to achieve ascending generals. I also told them that big money players don't want to fight against big money players. Like, they've spent all this money. They want their troops to revive and live, and they want to laugh at killing somebody. They want to beat up on medium coiners and small coiners and free-to-play players. But when you don't give these smaller players or smaller financial players a chance to achieve something, they quit, and then you're left with no one for the big players to beat up on. Like, look at SVS. Because of the buffs and what I just talked about, you could go into SVS and get zeroed. People aren't playing, so the big players aren't really having that much fun in there. So they need to give paths like that for people. And then I just talked about how costly things are, everything that they're adding to the game, and it's really not working out. So, and then I told them about the gear. You can't give no option to get the gear. There has to be some sort of way, and it can't be a wheel that's impossible. People need to know percentages. They need to know chances. You can't expect people to just buy packs that equal the same amount as the original weapon. Like, the weapon's now old. It's now, it's 6 months old. It should be reduced price, even if it's half price. Evony's still making a killing on it. And who cares? In a year and a half, they're going to release new stuff anyways that outdates it. I understand that they don't want to, because old, new servers haven't got the Plantagenic gear yet. They haven't got the Freedom set. They just, like, some servers started and their first set was the Choreo set. So I understand why they wouldn't want to do that. But C1, C2, C3, these servers that have been around a lot longer, don't get the same packs as C4, and you have to do stuff. But anyways, who knows what they'll say. And then their response to me was, that is really bad. So it's the last week's game mechanics that caused this. I was thinking maybe people are waiting for the next big event to spend money. So Evony's thinking, yeah, maybe people just thought the monster gear, the pants weren't, and the boots weren't quite worth the money. So people are waiting for this next civilization gear, or they're waiting for the next wheel, or they're waiting for the next general to release so they could buy packs and get their ascending general. So Evony's hopeful. They're hoping that this was, a blip on the radar, but hopefully we can all band together, stop spending, lower your spending at least, and let them know. Because I know that we do have to spend a little bit. Like, lots of people have lots of refined stones, things sitting around. There are events that come up that you want to refine, you want to cultivate generals, you need gems, you need some stuff to do it. So you do have to coin a little bit. But there's ways to keep it down and not let them have what they want. Evony, so bottom line, Evony is noticing. I think if we go another event or two where spending is very low, I bet we even get another developer call. Problem with the developer call is Evony invites the same people all the time. And they tend to invite people who spend a lot. I don't know any way around it. I don't know how they could possibly invite low spending people, because low spending people might not be interested in this call, right? Low spending people don't really play the same amount of hours. So I do catch 22 there. I do understand, but I think Evony just needs to look out for the medium spenders and free spenders, because they do play a role. Miser said it best in one of his videos a few days ago. He's basically said he doesn't really enjoy the game that much anymore, but it's basically become a social media app for him. He has friends on the game he likes to talk to, that sort of stuff. It's an outlet from real life. So that's kind of what Evony is. You run off all the low spenders. The social thing isn't really there for the big spenders to stay, something to catch them to stay. They'll just go find another game. So, and there are way better games out there. How about just going to buy a really good PlayStation game? You get a lot more enjoyment out of that usually. Anyways, less frustration too. So, Genghis, Server 68, like, subscribe, leave a comment.